Hello, my dear friend. Welcome back to another episode on the Founder Stories podcast. I am very excited that you are here today to listen to the story of an incredible guest. Today, I have the honor to interview my dear friend, Steve Ward, co-founder and managing director of a venture capital fund called BrightMind. Now, a pre-warning. This conversation is super honest. It's raw. It's vulnerable. And Steve does not hold back. Steve has worked with some of the best cyber entrepreneurs in the world, the founders of CrowdStrike to Wiz, Armis, Abnormal, and multiple others. And he really shares what it takes to succeed and the sacrifices that you need to make on the personal front and on the professional front. You know, Steve's career has varied everything from being a Secret Service agent to being the CISO of Home Depot, to eventually starting his own venture fund. So he's seen it all, and he's been at all these different, places in his life. And he really shares the lessons he's learned for the good and the bad over his entire career. So I really hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. So please enjoy my conversation with Steve. When the Wiz acquisition happened, you posted a photo on LinkedIn. This photo here.
Yeah.
Of you talking. Where were you here?
I was in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica.
Yeah. My wife was surfing and
Wow.
I went to watch.
And you wrote here that this picture is from this morning. You're speaking to Asaf, Inon, Ami, Roy. And it was a mix of celebration and relief. And then you spoke about your son. And that the money you made from this acquisition is going to go towards a trust for your son who has autism. I want you to tell me if you can recall the emotions and things that were happening when the acquisition happened, when you were on that call.
Yeah, so he called once and I didn't answer it.
Asaf did.
Asaf did, yeah. I wasn't doing anything. I was just like, all right, I know he's dealing with a lot. We were getting ready for my wife to go surfing. And then I called him back like 10, 15 minutes later. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Like, I just wanted a little bit to process. Look, I'm pretty calculated on why I do things the way I do. And I wanted to post that because what you typically see with venture capital firms is when a deal closes like that, it always seems to be a backhanded type post, meaning I want to make it seem like I'm happy for them and I'm congratulating them, but I also want everyone to know that I did the deal. I was on the board. I invested early. I invested late. And it's propping up your own logo. So I did it on purpose. It was calculated because I wanted people to understand that there's something else. There's more to it for me. I could have posted that and been like, hey, BrightMind is excited and da-da-da, but there's just more to it than me. This isn't about that. This is about changing lives. You do things to impact other people's lives. You do things to change other people's lives. That's why you should be in this business. And that was my point around that whole post of Asaf, even last night when we had dinner, it was like, I hate that you don't feel like you deserved it, that you didn't do enough. And he's right, because I never do with things like that. And my comment back to him was, I wish you truly understood what you did for my son. And we kind of went back and forth around you accept it on your end, I'll accept it on my end, and we'll both kind of feel good about ourselves. And that was part of the conversation. But it was a huge relief as a father. My son is 20, my daughter is 18. And I posted it about my son, but it's just as much about my daughter. Of the real heroes with special needs are usually the siblings.
Yeah.
And she's the most incredible human being I've ever met. She takes after my wife. So it was a lot about her too, of think about an 18-year-old that's about to go to college. It's okay, when my parents are gone, he's my responsibility. And she's lived with that since she was little. So it was also about her, okay, you guys are taken care of. He'll never want for anything. He'll always have the services he needs. and my daughter won't have as much of a burden, and she'll be able to help take care of it and all that.
Right.
That was the reason for the post. And I also wanted people to understand, like, yeah, I invested early, and it's life-changing money, but it's not life-changing for me, it's life-changing for him. Right. And that's why you do these things, to change other people's lives. So it was a little bit of like stir the pot in the venture world, because I knew all the other investors and I saw their posts, and a little bit of like, hey, I don't normally put my personal life out there.
Right.
I'm pretty private. So it was that one moment of like, okay, let's go do it. I didn't know my wife videotaped it. That's where the photo comes from.
You didn't know about this picture?
I didn't know that she was videotaping when they called, because we were all on FaceTime so we could see each other.
Yeah.
And they passed the phone around. So yeah, she's the hero on that one. She's like, oh, I took a screenshot. Look at this. I was like, all right, I got to post it.
What has your son taught you?
Oof. Look, I named BrightMind after him. Like, so when he was diagnosed at 3, the neurologist came in and was like, hey, this is going to be tough. You guys are going to have tremendous challenges. He definitely has autism, but he said a quote that stayed with us for 17 years. He goes, I want you to enjoy his bright mind. Mm-hmm. My wife has it tattooed on her body. Okay. So when I was building BrightMind originally, I had a pitch deck. And the pitch deck, my wife is smarter than me. She has her master's. She's amazing EQ, amazing writer. So I push everything to her and I slide the laptop over. I'm like, take a look that this is the pitch deck for the new firm. And it said Elite Ventures. And she goes, Elite Ventures? That sounds like a shady limo company in Las Vegas. And she goes, you're dealing with all of these smart founders. She's met her and Asaf Text, and she's met Evgeny and Nadir and Spencer. She's met these incredible founders. She's like, why wouldn't you just call this BrightMind? And I grabbed the laptop, I changed it to BrightMind, I handed it back to her. So she's responsible for the name. What has he taught me? Man, as it relates to venture and just founders and people and all of that, you gotta love people, although. Like, you just have to. Like, my ability now to look at someone, and if I didn't have my son, I would look at someone and go, I'm a little off, a little weird, I don't really get them, they don't look like me, they don't act like me. And now it's just with him, and watching him struggle on the most simplistic things and watching me be off the charts smart on others. Now I look at founders and it's just, ooh, that one thing, love it. That's what I'm going to lock into. Right. That's what I'm really going to, focus on. You're just trying to really maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. Rather than the other way around. And what a lot of other people do is they just sort of point at those weaknesses and like, oh, I don't like this. Totally opposite now. You got to find that little thing that you love. And if you can't find that in someone, I just don't think you're looking hard enough.
Right. Wow. I'm a firm believer that I think people with special needs are like really higher souls. Like, you can see like they really have like a very unique special mission in this world that, I guess regular people that are able to live the regular day-to-day lives don't have.
Yeah, and look, I would even argue that, especially going forward with some of the firms that are being built, half of them are run by people with special needs, right? My wife and I are always diagnosing founders and CEOs of public companies and others. But there are a lot out there that have been very open as to what their challenges were and where they sat on the spectrum. And I think there's probably some more out there that eventually will come out. And I think the CEO of Palantir was just called out for being fidgety in a chair. Mm-hmm. When I watched that interview, I'm like, that's my son. Like, he can't sit still and he's up and down and he's got to let that energy out in some way. And then eventually Alex, the CEO, came out and he didn't say anything specifically. He just offered up a charity to donate for special needs. Wow. And it was like, that was that moment of like, okay, everyone was kind of pushing at him of like, oh, what pill did he take before the interview and things like that. And that pissed me off because then I noticed exactly what he was going through because I've seen it in my son. So maybe it'll cause the world to be a little bit more accepting of all these founders that are building billion-dollar companies, right? That are maybe a little bit on the spectrum.
Yeah. And I think hopefully for humanity in general, people in general, like that are, people that like you said before, like one of the things he taught you was to really appreciate every single person and look for the things that you could connect with them. And I think in general, we should always look for that. Just because someone looks different or something, or have a different type of disability or something, always accept and look for the things you can connect with and everything. What was Steve like at 17?
17. Only focused on sports. My brother said in the toast at my wedding, his exact quote was, Steve was never an expert in anything. He was just really good at everything. Mm-hmm. And it was like one of those moments where like you look around and you're like, yeah, like I did a lot of stuff, a lot of sports. I liked to be alone. Like I was an introvert, not socially awkward or anything like that, but we lived in between 3 farms in as far northwest New Jersey as you can go. Okay. When we rode our dirt bikes, you could ride 2 minutes and you could be in New York, or you could ride 5 and be in Pennsylvania, like that tip part of New Jersey. So we were outside a lot. Like my mom would just kick us out. We worked on farms and blue collar construction stuff outside. So I liked being outside. I liked being by myself. I loved sports. I was a terrible student. At one point, my parents sent me to a psychologist when I was in 6th grade. And they basically, back then, they just kind of write you off. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, he's just not smart. He's not going to do well in school. But the one thing they put on there, my mom gave this to me. I still have it. It said he seems to be really into computers.
In 6th grade?
6th grade. I didn't remember that. And it just circled back like 7, 8 years ago when my mom brought me a box and was like, this is a bunch of your stuff. And that analysis was in the box. And it started to kind of bring back childhood memories of like, yeah, my neighbor had a Commodore 64 and I used to always go over there even when he wasn't home. And his mom would be like, Steve's in your bedroom playing on the Commodore 64. We couldn't afford it. So I was a happy kid with 2 older brothers. We fought a lot, so learned how to fight quickly. Got beat up a lot. Not in a bad way, just arguing. But a little lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I didn't really know. I didn't really have a purpose. And I think that's okay, because I think kids now are pushed into having one too early. Mm-hmm. Like, let them be kids. And my parents sort of let me do that. So I came home from school one day and I saw a commercial of a guy in the Coast Guard jumping out of a helicopter. And my parents came home and I said to my parents, I'm not going to go to college. I want to join the Coast Guard. I want to do search and rescue. And my dad never even looked up from his Budweiser can and said, do you even know how to swim? Was his only question for me. And I said, yeah, I know how to swim. There's a pond down the road that we grab snapping turtles and throw them back into the pond and we swim out there. So I went to the Coast Guard and did that for 4 years, did a bunch of search and rescue stuff, had some good saves. And that just shaped everything for me from that point forward. I went in as a lost kid who didn't really know who I was and really just didn't have the focus, to going through that, going to engineering school when I was in there and coming out and being like, I know who I am, I know what I want to be, and went to college and, at Seton Hall, and graduated a little early and with very good grades. And the Coast Guard just changed everything for me. I wouldn't be in this seat if it wasn't for that, like that shape and that discipline and just turning a young boy into sort of a man.
What specifically about the Coast Guard, or what specifically happened there that actually changed you and gave you that purpose?
It was lack of confidence. And I still have this problem. I never think I'm good enough. I never think I deserve what I have. I'm fueled by negativity, right? Like I'll walk into a room and it's sort of the Michael Jordan thing that he came out, and I'll make something up in my head that other venture capitalist doesn't think I belong in this room. Right. I'll work till 4 a.m. over it. Like it's not a good thing. I don't recommend it. It's like drinking poison thinking that it's going to kill someone else.
Right.
But that's what I do. I just sip on poison all the time. And I think the Coast Guard, I had a roommate in engineering school that I was failing out of engineering school. And he sat down with me and he paid attention to me. He learned who I was and he taught me how I should teach myself. So he would look at my notebook and go like, why are you writing this down? Like, this is irrelevant. And why are you doing it this way? He is the first person in my life, and I don't mean anything negative about my parents or brothers or anything. He's the first person in my life that took the time to understand me and figure out how to help me understand myself and teach me how to learn. And that academic confidence, physical, I was always fine. It was always first, right? Mental and just learning in the education side, man, he taught me that. I never failed another test in engineering school. I graduated towards the top of my class. And that level of confidence that I had academically to unlock my brain was what sort of like pieced everything together. It was a crazy moment. I've tried to find him so many times over the last 20 years to tell him that, and I can't find the damn kid. Okay. Yeah, I still want to find him. He's one of the few that I want to call and be like, do you understand what you did?
Yeah. So. It's why you're in the seat.
100%. Yeah. There's a lot of those moments in my life, but that was one of the first that I remember.
What are some of the others?
Oof. There is probably 3 or 4 people that I looked up to early on that probably didn't know it, or they were mentors, but I never asked, they never offered. Some of them women that most people wouldn't explain. Like we had a female XO, second in charge on our ship, and I adored her. Like she's one of the few females on the ship. She was second in charge, and she helped me tremendously. Being out at sea, you're out at sea for 3 months, you come back for a month, you go back out. She was one of the first. I jokingly say, like, I grew up in an Irish Catholic home with not a lot of hugs. Right. So when you get any type of emotional connection with a woman like that, that's going to show you a little bit of love, right? She was one of the first. I think him at engineering school, always looked up to my cousin Carl. He was the CEO of Workdays at Sequoia now. I was always watching everything that he did and always wanted to be on his team when we picked teams for wiffle ball or football. And Guy Chirillo, CIO of JP Morgan when I was there. Such stupid little things, but I presented to him and a bunch of executives at JP Morgan. I was crazy nervous. It was right when I got out of the government. And at the end of the presentation, he was sitting next to me. He patted me on the knee and just whispered, "Good job." Okay. I'm 53 and I still know what that felt like. That's not that moment. That just means it's more about like what he meant to me and how I looked up to him on why that moment was so important. So it's just little things like that along the way that certain people that just meant a lot to me that I learned from quickly, that you just sort of, you know who they are when you crave to be around someone.
Yeah.
Right. And I have that with founders and with certain founders and things like that too, where you just, man, I always want to be around them. If those people that are on your call list like that, when they call you, you always pick up. Like whoever you're on the phone with, you're like, "Hey, I had to go." Right? It's people like that. And it doesn't have to be big moments or anything like that. It's just connections, like energy type connections that you have with people.
How many people are on that call list?
Oof, not many. I keep my circle very, very small. Outside of family, I'd say 10. And that's just me protecting my peace.
Right.
Right? Because I think there's a lot of conversations that you have of like, I'm always having this response to see certain people of like, hey, why you make your problem my problem? Do you know what I mean? I got my own, man. Like, I don't need your shit. Like, you got to deal with yours. I'll deal with mine. So it's usually people that you just have an amazing connection with, and that it's very organic and it's very easy. Relationships should be easy. I don't want to have to work at them, right? For you to be on that top 10. All the others, yeah, things are hard work. I get it. But the top 10, man, they're easy. Yeah. And those are good marriages, in life.
Yeah. Speaking about relationships, I'm in the middle of reading this biography about a entrepreneur. His name was Larry Miller out of Utah. And I highly recommend everyone to read this book. One of the best business biographies I've ever read. It's like just simple, easy read. And he was a very fierce negotiator. He was known for that. But he was always made sure that after negotiation happened and they closed the deal, he went over to the person, his counterpart, and asking him, "Are you happy?" That was his question. "Are you happy?" Because he said his philosophy was he never wanted to negotiate with somebody or buy someone else's company and have to cross the street the next time he sees him. He always wanted his relationship to be amicable, friendly, and things like that, which came up to mind when you're talking about this.
I love that. I actually, when we raised our fund, I wanted the LPs to talk to companies. Like, everybody wanted to talk to Asaf and Evan and Abnormal, Yevgeny and Nadir. Like, they wanted to talk to like these top founders. And I wanted them in a lot of ways to talk to the companies that went to zero. Yeah. Talk to the companies where we had to get rid of the CTO, the CEO, and start over. Like, go talk to them. We do this with, we talk about this about Silk. I did that deal. We sold it to Armis. And as founders like that, man, we had our challenges. I mean, separating them in different conference room at Insight and going from room to room and just trying to like hold it together and really mediate. Go talk to those founders, right? The ones where things didn't work out and I would cross the street to go say hello, or they would do the same to me. Okay, those are true references. Don't talk to founders where everybody made money. They're all happy because we all made money, right? But talk to the ones that didn't, and you let me know if I would do their second company. You let me know if they would come back to me and say, I want you to invest in my new company. Right. Those are the real conversations. And if I was an LP, at Harvard, Yale, MIT, those are the founders I would talk to, because I think he's right. Like, at the end of the negotiation, are you happy? And I don't mean happy with the terms. I mean, happy with each other as human beings. Correct. Right? Did we treat each other well? We might not have agreed, but I was respectful and I treated you well. And I'm a maniac from a work ethic standpoint, and I don't get along with certain people who aren't. Like, I have this Navy SEAL buddy of mine who's always says this thing of, hey, if you want to be good, go stand over there. I don't want to be friends with you. And it's like the best quote in the world, right? And I use it all the time. Man, that's just work hard, be good to each other. You can be fair, but stern. You can be competitive, but fair. Like, all those things. I just want founders to look at me and go, hey, you know what? He was fair, and he was honest, and he was transparent, and he didn't play games. And that's just about being a good person, not a good venture capitalist, not a good founder. Are you a good person? I am. Okay, you are too. Great, let's go build something together. We can figure the rest out.
Yeah. It's the number one principle. Like, you want to be treated the way you treat someone you want to be treated. And, a lot of times in venture specifically, people think that you have to be sharks. And I always say there's no commandment in the Bible that says that I shall be an asshole. It doesn't say that at all. Yeah. And being kind and being relationship driven first, or people first, really goes a far way. You see that?
It does. I use the rule of, I go to my wife. She's the first person to be like, hey, you're being an asshole. Yeah. And I always use the rule. My daughter's 18 now. When I tell her a story, is she going to be proud of me? Mm-hmm. Dude, it's not hard. Yeah. It's such a simple thing, right? Like, if you go tell your mom the story, is she going to be like, I raised you right? Mm. And if the answer is no, hey, I don't want to do that deal. Right. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to do that deal. Don't turn me into someone that I'm not. And I don't want venture and have never wanted venture to turn me into something that I'm not. Even Asaf last night said it to me. He's like, I love hanging out with you. He just laughed. He's like, don't change. Like, don't let this game change you. And I agree. It's a lost art right now of finding good people.
Yeah.
Right.
You were you became the CISO of Home Depot in 2015. For those that don't know, Home Depot had a massive breach in 2014. At that point in time was, I think, the biggest cybersecurity breach for a company. Why did you run towards chaos?
I'm going to give you the most honest answer that CISOs will not give you. I chased my ego and ran to a Fortune 14. I didn't run to Home Depot. I ran to a Fortune 14 because I wanted to be able to walk into a room and have everybody be like, oh my God, that's the CISO of Home Depot. That's it. And it was a bad decision. I shouldn't have gone. I was at a Fortune 80 at TIA. I'd been at JP Morgan, was Fortune 35 before that. But I had an ego and I had to feed it, and loved my time at Home Depot. So my next comment is, there's nothing to do with Home Depot. It was the worst mistake I made in sort of a corporate world, one of the worst mistakes, because I left my family in New Jersey. I moved to Atlanta. I got on that miserable flight on Monday morning with all the EY consultants. We were all looking at each other like, oh, you're miserable too. And we would fly to Atlanta, would work all week, and then I would fly back. And I did that for 2 years. I might be the only person who was happy that COVID hit. So I got to go home. And I loved my time at Home Depot, but I left my family to chase my ego, and I'm still pissed off about it. I didn't care about the breach. I didn't care that it was post-breach. And I've even made the comment, like, the only thing worse than being a CISO going through a breach is the CISO that replaces him or her. Yeah. The post-breach CISO is one of the worst jobs ever. I had 49 attorney general's offices that all rolled up into Connecticut that were suing us. They were all monitoring our program and tracking the progress, and we had milestones that we had to hit. I had to flip the whole program upside down and do rifts and get rid of people and bring in new talent. It was a leadership test like no other, going there. And then being away from my family was when I realized, like, I recharge going home. I recharge being around them. And then on top of it, leaving my son, who was young, with autism, with my wife, with 2 young kids. Still regret it. And I'm not like a big regret guy, but man, it was stupid to go do it. Did I love the job? Yeah, loved Home Depot. Amazing place, complicated, which I loved. And I liked engine overhauls. Like, don't give me something where I'm polishing the Bentley. Right. I don't want to do it. I don't give a shit. Give me something to fix. So I loved that part of it. But man, I drove that team into the ground. Home Depot was weird, where I finally realized you have 2 choices. The logo can hold the risk, or you can. Post-breach as a CISO, I held all the risk. So what did I do? I called it risk transference. I transferred that risk in the entire 600 people there, and we're just like, all right, move faster. Hey, this project's going to take 8 months. Nope, 4. Right? I can do this with 60 million. Nope, got to do it with 30. I just drove everybody into the ground. The fact that most of them still talk to me, right, we should probably analyze in some capacity, because if I was them, I would have killed me. I just was there first and out the door last, and really, really pushed everybody really hard. But man, it was a great place to work. If I had lived in Atlanta and my family was there, I'd probably still be there. Like, the culture of that place, man, once you start bleeding orange, it's really hard to leave there, and they treat you really well. So I love it. The best quote in my operator career came from the CIO there, Matt Carey. We didn't get along that well when I was there, But it's one of those relationships where after you break up and you're out for a year, you call her up and you're like, oh, my bad. Right? That was sort of Matt Carey. We went to a bar and we were drinking tequila, and he goes, he said two things to me, one right after the other. He said, the business sets the strategy, IT is an enabler of the strategy, and security is the barrier to progress. And he said it with this like thick Southern accent. And I was like, oh, that hurts. He's like, you got to figure out how to not be the barrier to progress. You got to figure out how to be an enabler. And then we'll let you in the room. But you're complaining that you're not in the room when you should be looking in the mirror going, why don't we want you there? Mm-hmm. And it was like, it hurt. And then he goes, the problem with you guys is you take a magnifying glass and put it over an ant and call it a fucking dragon. That was just, and those two things, I literally walked away and I wanted to be mad at him, but he doesn't know to this day how earth-shattering those two stupid quotes were. It like caused me to come in the next day and be like, you know what? The guy's right.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm the most important person in the room, and I think all this risk is on my shoulders. And he taught me a lot.
Knowing that personal experience, what you went through, being away from family, the ego aspect of it too. How do you mentor the new younger generation or new founders that are going to go through the same challenge you're going through, which is one, they'll be away from their family all the time. And number two, sometimes some of these people are doing it only because of ego.
So the way I give back right now is I have a presentation that I do. And it's the top 12 biggest mistakes that almost derailed my CISO career. I just gave it at RSA. I've given it at CrowdStrike's Falcon twice. I'm going up to Harvard with PwC with a bunch of CISOs nominated their potential takeout. So one level down, they're coming up. I try to be very, very honest with what I did wrong in those 10, 15 years. I think you've probably seen it. It's why when I go to RSA in these conferences or Gartner last year, like why I hate going to the presentations. And I hate it now because I know I did it back then. But everybody gets up there and it's basically, let me tell you how smart I am. Let me pat myself in the back. Let me tell you how good our program is. Not one person gets up there and says, hey, brother, there's a lot of landmines. I'm going to tell you where 12 of them are. And I even say in the beginning of the presentation, I go, I'm going to talk about the 12 biggest mistakes I made. There's probably 30, but those would take some tequila. That's how I start the presentation. I try to do that as much as possible. I've done it on the outside and gotten paid for it. And I donated to an autism charity. And I want them to know that we made mistakes, what we learned from them, and that it's okay to talk about them, right? Very similar in the Secret Service of like managing risk to zero. Mm-hmm. CISOs try to do the same thing. And you also try to manage like where you're not allowed to make mistakes. So you'd be surprised at how well attended and well received that type of presentation is, where it's like, here's all the stuff that I did wrong. And like some of them are comedic, like stop putting all your poor talent in IAM. Everyone everyone laughs. Right. And my comment is, because you do it. But identity access management is literally the most important thing over the next 7 years. But you're putting your poor talent there because you have crappy tech there. Yeah. Give them good tech that attracts good talent, and let's go build great programs. It's stuff like that where I'm very honest. And if people don't like it, don't attend. But I'm going to tell you where I made my mistakes, and we're going to talk about it and be open and honest. So I hope others do the same, because there's probably a lot out there. Some of it's life advice. Like I talk about, like, don't chase your ego. Don't sacrifice your family. It is a logo on a building, and when you leave, they will replace you and they will forget about you. Mm. So remember that coming in. Work hard, have pride, but man, don't sacrifice so much of your family that, like I did. So I talk about personal stuff too, and hopefully somebody takes something out of it and it prevents them from stepping on that landmine later.
Yeah, you never want. I always tell founders, like, you don't want to be a successful founder, post $1 billion exit, whatever it is, and it comes at the expense of you being a divorced person and your kids not speaking to you, or you having custody only once a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to watch Secret Service retirement parties. Yeah. Spouses and kids never seemed to like the dude who was up there getting the plaque. Right? It's why I left after 9 years. It was like, I'm done. I had the nurse say, it's a girl. And I looked at my wife. I'm like, I got to get out. Like, I cannot do this. I cannot be a good employee in the Secret Service, a good agent, a good father, and a good husband. Something has to give. And I'm such a workaholic that it's not going to be work. Like, I can't do it. So that means it's either you as a spouse or you as a kid. And man, it's a girl. And I was like, I got to go.
Was that a big moment in your life?
Yeah, because it's Coast Guard and Secret Service are the best jobs I ever had. I miss it every day. I regret that I left every day. Regret in a way of, I'm a patriot at heart. Nowadays, I try to hide as much as I can of it just because what is going on in the world, but I am a diehard patriot. So I have friends that did 25 years that I look at and look up to and go like, hey, like, thanks. And they're like, no, thank you. I'm like, no, I quit. Like, I did 12 years total in the government between the military and the Secret Service. And for me, it's still, you're supposed to do 25, do your 25. And I chased the money. And I chased cyber, and that's great, and it's worked out for me. But man, there's not a day that goes by that I don't go like, shit. Like, I wish I stayed. So I miss it. I just miss the people and the camaraderie and like the training together and going through things together and stressful situations. It builds such a bond that I've never been able to recreate that in the corporate world. Right. I just can't, so I've never had it, and I just miss those connections. So, I'm glad I left. I did the right thing for the family, and it worked out. Right. But, yeah, man, I think about it a lot. I just miss the adrenaline too. It's nice to drive fast, shoot shit, right? Get in some fights. Like, it's a good day. Right? So there's a part of me that misses that stuff.
What was it like actually being in the Secret Service? Because most people don't meet a Secret Service agent. So what was it, the details of the job, what did it entail?
The best time I had was the 7 months in training. Like, to wake up and, bang out a 5-mile run just to start your morning, and then go to class, go shoot, go back to class, go drive cars as fast as you can, go back to class, go work out, go to what we called CT, control tactics, which is basically just fighting. Go fight, eat dinner, go study. It just was, that was it for me. Like, right. The combination of academics and physical, I never wanted to leave. Like, I actually thought about ways of getting reverted. Like, what if I fail a bunch of stuff? Will they make me go repeat? Because I just didn't want to leave. I absolutely loved it. It's just an incredible job because every day was different. Like, you could get up one day and, fly to Des Moines, Iowa, and stand next to a farm and listen to the president give a speech. And then I could fly out the next day and be like, hey, you're going overseas. I volunteered a bit to go to the Middle East because I just loved it. I've been to Russia. I got to meet Putin once when President Bush was there on some negotiations. I stood next to Yasser Arafat and listened to him, speak Arabic to someone else while he was waiting for Clinton for the Oslo Accords. So you're around these incredible people, but then at the same time, you can come back and I can get on an undercover computer and talk to a hacker and lure him to Turkey, and we could go there and grab him. So every day was different. And if you wanted to get into shit, you could. If you wanted to kind of just stay very chill and just do your protection assignments and stand by an elevator shaft, you could do that too. I wasn't good at that. Like, I looked for bad things and I wanted to be in them. Like, I've been shot at. I watched stabbings where I had to break up a stabbing on the street and almost got shot down in the Middle East in a C-17. Had like missile lock on us. Like it was been through a lot, but I looked for it, right? Like I didn't like not being in it. I didn't like not being bored, or I didn't like being bored. So I loved it. It was a great agency. We just saw what happened the other day, and I'm proud that they reacted the way they did, and that's how it's supposed to work. And you just have a level of pride, right? You want them to be successful, and you want them to do well. And I still have buddies that are in there and still talk to them. So you want the best for them. Right. But it was just the best job of Monday, it's a suit. Tuesday, it's jeans and a t-shirt. Wednesday, you're on a flight to Miami, right? Thursday, you're on a flight to Jamaica, right? With the president's daughter. Like you're just all over the place. I loved it. I did not do well sitting idle. And then that's how I got into cyber. Just got very lucky and kind of stumbled into it. And I had the chance to go to the president's detail, actually the president's daughter at Yale, and then the president's detail. And I turned it down because I had a sneaking suspicion that this information security thing was going to be big. Mm-hmm. And I had a boss tell me that I was going to go from a hero to zero. Never forget it. He told another agent, hey, stay away from Ward. He's going to go from hero to zero real quick. And they were like, why? Like, he wants to do this information security stuff and not go to the president's detail. The president's detail was the show. And I want to find him bad and be like, yeah, look at me now. Pretty good choice, right? That's how I got into cyber, and I ended up working some big cases there. And we did the first wiretap of a computer network, where we had to take analog phone wiretap laws and apply it to a computer network. And we ended up grabbing 41 hackers across 11 countries. Russia's probably the only country I can't go back to, which is crazy because it's a beautiful country. So that's how I got into it. It was a blast. Most of my technical experience was taught to me by hackers. Guys that we grabbed, flipped them into informants and said, you got to teach us. That translated later on in my career of, again, being humble enough to allow a 22-year-old criminal to teach you things that you don't know. And that helped me later on. It helped me at Insight Partners. It helped me in just in venture in general, to just sit in a room and be like, all right, teach me. And I was competitive. So like I had a 23-year-old kid teach me something. And every day it was just, okay, I'm that much closer. And I would say this to them, like, eventually I'm going to surpass you. And they'd be like, nah, you're not. Like, you're not this, you're not that. I was like, yep. Sometimes it took a year. But eventually I would pass them. Right. And that's always been my thing. Like, you know more than me today. But I'm so inquisitive and so curious and so driven. It's not going to be true tomorrow. And sooner or later, you're going to need me more than I need you. And I'm just going to surpass you. And then I'll move on to the next and just drain the next brain. And that's sort of how it was. So Secret Service was a great job. I definitely miss it.
How did you land up at Insight?
Oof, the story that no one knows. I was not supposed to go to Insight. I was going to join Wiz.
Really?
Yeah. So I had an offer letter from Asaf to join Wiz in a couple different capacities. Ultimately, it turned out to be the chief strategy officer and CISO and all of that. And I asked for too much equity, is what the board said. Who is this guy? Asaf, why do you like him? Make him interview with all the board members. So it was Doug at Sequoia, Shardul at Index, and then Jeff at Insight. When I started with Doug, went great. Doug's like, yep, good. Moved to Shardul. I knew Shardul, so that was easy. Although I think Shardul, I'm not sure he loved paying me the equity that I was asking for. And then I got to Jeff, and Jeff and I had. I remember we drank like 400 iced teas in Manhattan in the sun, and I was a dumbass and wore a jacket. It was in July. It was hot. We were in the sun, and Jeff just halfway through, it was like, yeah, like, why don't you just come here? And so halfway through, it wasn't an interview for Wiz, it was an interview for Insight. And by the end of it, I got in a car, I called my wife, I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna go to Insight Partners. And she goes, well, who the hell is that? And what happened to Wiz? So yeah, look, Jeff is phenomenal, right? He is who he is for a reason. And I think it's really hard to say no to him. And he just, something clicked with me on like, wait, so I don't have to do this for one company. I can come here and do it for, I think we had 41 cyber companies in the Insight portfolio when I got there. When I left, it was like 60 something, right? 63, 64, something like that. It was $5.7 billion just invested in those 63 companies. Again, ego. Wait, this is the largest cyber portfolio in the world? Oh, yeah, I want that, right? Again, like, I don't want to act like I don't have one. Yeah, that's how it happened. So I had to call Asaf. Felt terrible. He said, still to this day, he's like, you're the only person who turned down working for me. Knowing what I would have made if I joined, woof. I don't know. Ooh, I'd be living in Costa Rica right now. Yeah, I called a buddy of mine, Anthony Belfiore, and was like, hey, here's my offer letter. It's all approved. All you have to do is just get Asaf to fall in love and sign it. And that he signed that offer letter with Asaf, and he did a better job than me. Anthony's much better at chaos. I need controlled chaos. Like, I'm a government guy at heart. I can need a little bit of structure.
Right.
And I'm so glad I didn't take it for Wiz, because he just did a better job than me.
Right.
Yeah, that was how I landed at Insight. Don't regret it at all. Again, I'm not like a money guy. I'm not really driven by it. So like, I don't look at it and go, oh my God, look at how much you didn't make. No, it was the right thing for me, and was still close with Asaf, and probably because I didn't take it. Right? Like, taking someone like me out of the big corporate world, the government world, I'm tough on that stuff. Like, I want structure and I want organization, and that's not a startup world, as you know. Like, it's chaos. So I'm glad I didn't take it, but and was very happy I went to Insight.
Right. What was it like at Insight? I mean, you were coming out of a very corporate job, being a CISO. Yeah. And now you're on the opposite end of the whole entire spectrum. Like, previously you were a buyer, you were a thought leader, people want your attention, and now you're thrown into an industry that you don't know anything about.
Yeah, you mentioned the buyer side. I told Jeff, I was like, I don't know anything about venture. And he was like, yep, I know, just invest in what you would buy. And then I did a bunch of bad deals. And I realized that wasn't good advice. So being an operator, getting into investing, it is a spoke. Venture is the hub. Being an operator is just a good feeder for it. It just helps you make better decisions as a venture capitalist. But my biggest problem was I had to learn venture. So I didn't get an office there. I sat with the analysts out in the cubes. I was like the creepy old dude hovering over like a 24-year-old. And I listened to them pitch Insight. I listened to founders pitch to them. I asked questions as to like, why do you do it this way? Right? Insight has like 200 analysts, and all day they're just talking to, 8 startups a day type deal. I had to learn venture. So I just immersed myself at the beginning stages of like, almost like I was a Wharton grad, because Insight likes Wharton grads. I was a Wharton grad, and I was a year one analyst. That's what it felt like. Even though I was a partner on the investment team, I reported to Jeff directly, but I just didn't treat it like that. Again, it's that like, lose the ego and learn from anybody. And if you can do that, man, you're going to learn a lot of shit. Right. So I just learned from all of them. And I had to learn venture very quickly. There were a lot of crazy smart people there. I was older than most of the investment committee members. So again, like a humbling experience. Like, come on, man, I've saved lives. I've protected presidents. I've worked at the time, the largest cybersecurity case in government history, been a CISO and an officer of 2 Fortune 100 companies. And now I got to listen to some 24-year-old. And it was a simple answer. It was like, yeah, do it. Suck it up. Be a sponge. I learned everything I could and did some amazing deals. Like Wiz was my first investment ever, right? Right before I got to Insight. I got to Insight, I did abnormal security, right? They're worth probably $6 billion right now. Still on the board there. So I figured it out quickly. And that's always sort of been my thing. And like my brother's speech of like, he's not an expert in anything, he's really good at everything. His opinion, he hasn't seen me play tennis. But I just learned quickly because I learned from anyone and I don't have an ego about that part. So I just learned from as many people as I could. And really, really had to learn the venture part. The most beautiful thing about Insight Partners is if you go there and you do 3 years there, the range of deals that they do, if you're paying attention, dude, it's the most amazing venture PE training ground I've ever seen. And they have some of the smartest people I've ever seen. Just crazy smart. I remember, this is self-deprecating, so I love this story, sitting in a room with Jeff, and I think it was a guy named Josh, and it was Brandon. We were trying to work on a deal, and Jeff kept saying, do these like penny warrants. And every once in a while, Jeff would look at me and like, I'd shake my head and talk more about these penny warrants and all this stuff. And eventually he's like, all right, you got it? And I was a partner on the deal. Brandon was a principal or VP or something. And I go, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. He just looks at me and goes, Brandon, take him outside, him, sit in your cube and throw this up on an Excel sheet. This guy, Brandon, who we used to joke around and say like he had a big brain, he did something so fast in an Excel sheet and he explained it to me and I still walked away. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but like, let me know when I need to win the deal. You do all of that stuff. It was things like that where it was just, man, smart kids there that are going to be phenomenal. You know, the future of venture that I had to really learn quickly. And I had to learn what my superpowers were and make sure I focused on that, but not so much that I didn't learn all the little ins and outs of venture. Crazy place to come up.
Was this the first time that you, in your career, that you had to put ego aside?
Oof. I think the first time was with dealing with young kids who were hackers in the Secret Service. That was the first moment of like, I got a gun and a badge. I'm a federal agent of one of the premier agencies in the world. I got to go listen to this freaking kid. And the answer was yes, right? If you want to do this the right way. That was the first time. Insight was definitely the toughest because it wasn't just the ego. It was I was intimidated. Like I was intimidated by a 24-year-old. Because it was just, if this saying like, hey, it's your world, I'm just visiting. Like I was a visitor in that world for a long time and I felt out of place, especially I went to Seton Hall and you look at Insight's, you know, about us and it's like Ivy League, the top schools. And I used to scroll through and get to me and be like, oh, I stick out like a sore thumb, right? Some kid from Sussex, New Jersey, who's a military government guy, you know, like it was intimidating. It was really intimidating. Listen to people rattle off numbers and things like ACV, TCV, that I didn't know what that shit meant. I had a notebook that I would take that on the left, I would take notes and on the right, I would write down acronyms and just put question marks. And later on, I have to go look up what the hell they meant. No one, at Insight, they have an amazing training program when you're young and you're coming in. But when you're an older partner who's an operator, Jeff, he's phenomenal in thinking like this. He only hires partners at that level who he's confident you will figure it out. And he would tell you that. You'll figure it out. And I would always be like, I could figure it out faster if you just tell me. Help me out a little bit. But he didn't. He was just like, you'll figure it out. And the people that figured it out were really good investors. And the people that didn't, you kind of noticed pretty quickly that maybe it wasn't for you. So yeah, it was amazing. And I still talk to a lot of those younger crews that, you know, have now been promoted up, that are now VPs and principals. And it's amazing. They were smart then and they're smart now, and they're going to have great careers.
What else did you learn from Jeff, from him personally?
He has the best pattern recognition of a founder in a company that I've never seen. I've never seen anything like it. I've heard Doug is very similar from Sequoia. Like, he'll talk to you for a very short period of time and then just immediately be like, I got it. This is where you're wrong. This is what you need to focus on. Jeff, the biggest problem that we had at Insight is that everybody wants to be around him because of that. You just want, hey man, I don't know what osmosis is scientifically, but I hope this shit works and I hope it rubs off, and like, just let me rub shoulders with you and give me some of that so that I can just be a small percentage of what you are. He's just, you don't need ChatGPT with him. Like, he'll remember deals from 14 years ago. And in an IC meeting where it's heated and you're boom, 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 you got to bang through facts on a deal and we're deciding whether to do it. And he'll go, nope, 14 years ago, blah, blah, blah company, that didn't work. I don't want to invest in anything that has to have professional services behind it. And you just, like, okay. He had this famous thing of, like, sometimes he'd get to the end of a debate and he'd just go, I just think you're wrong. And the bottom line for me, I would be like, okay, I probably am. Like, he's got the best pattern recognition I've ever seen on the fly with a founder or a technological space. It's really impressive when you get to be around it. So you just want to be around him all the time. Very impressive.
Why did you start BrightMind?
Oof. I started BrightMind twice. So I started it when I left Home Depot. I did Wiz, Salt Security, Talon, and Transmit Security.
You could have retired.
Yeah. And then I joined Insight and had to put the whole thing on hold. People will ask, like, have asked in the past, like, well, you know, why did you leave Insight? I liked early stage. I fell in love with it. I did abnormal C round, and we paid $4 billion for that. So I did some growth rounds, but man, I loved early stage, and it's all I wanted to do. And for me, this might not be true for all investors, but for my feeble brain, I cannot be good at early stage and growth.
Right.
I can't split my brain that way. Growth to me is much more of a numbers game. I think it's a little bit easier, right? Because you have data points that you can really help you analyze whether you do or do not do a deal. I just fell in love with early stage. So I went to Jeff and Teddy and was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And I've resigned from big jobs. I resigned from the Secret Service. I had to grab a guy in Marseille. Long story. But I flew to France, grabbed this guy, and resigned from Paris, from the government. And was nauseous and, like, it was so hard. Telling Jeff and Teddy that I wanted to leave, man, I was grown-ass man, nervous, like a 12-year-old taking a math test that he didn't study for. You know what I mean? Like, it was really, really tough. But I had to do it. And I've had this feeling before with jobs, or like, if it eats at me like that and I'm not thinking about anything else, I just have to do it. And it's no different than going into the Coast Guard and my dad being like, do you even know how to swim? I didn't plan on going into the Secret Service. I got recruited by a priest who introduced me to a guy who was an agent who then recruited me. Like, I didn't want to jump in front of a bullet. Like, it was like, I guess if I have to, but like, I'd rather do a bunch of really good shit up front so I don't have to, but like, okay. But I didn't grow up wanting to be in law enforcement, wanting to be a Secret Service agent. And I didn't grow up wanting to like invest and be a venture capitalist. I just always listened to my gut and where that fire starts, and I can't not do it because I'll drive myself insane thinking about it. So I just, from the moment I initially was like, I'm going to do this, to then putting on pause and joining Insight, every day at Insight, all I thought about was that. So 3 years of torture, but I knew I had to do my time at Insight and learn venture or I wouldn't be good at BrightMind. So it was just, a moment in time of like, be patient and learn and learn and learn. It's the first time in my career where I knew. You ever work at a job where like you get done with it and you're like, I wish I paid attention more in this area, it'd be much better now. Insight's the only job that didn't happen. I paid attention everywhere because I knew what I wanted to do. And I had to do it. So they've been very supportive. I still on a couple boards for them and with Abnormal and Torque, and Jeff was awesome and Teddy was awesome. And they made me feel so good about the decision and took away the nervousness of it all. Like, I couldn't have asked for more. Now, he did say it's a young man's game. So I felt a little old, right? Being, 51 at the time, 52. But he's not wrong. It definitely is a young man's game. I just had to do it. And I knew the people I wanted to bring in to help me do it. And here we are, year and a half later. So far, so good.
What did you want to do different with BrightMind as a VC fund?
That's a long list. I'll give you a little bit of a people process tech. Like, I wanted to build an AI venture firm. Like, I don't want a lot of people reporting to me. Those days are over with. So I don't want to build a big firm. And AI could not have come at a better time where it was like, okay, I don't think we have to. I think I can source with agents rather than people. Mm-hmm. I think I can filter with AI rather than people. And I think cyber is a small enough domain where I can map the whole damn domain for the last 15 years, which we have, and be really, really good at like, I'm gonna focus on these 5, right? So the technological piece, like that from day one, I'm like, we're gonna build an AI venture firm. The big venture firms can't pivot like that, right? They're just too big and they're too set. I think they'll reduce headcount in a lot of these venture firms, you'll see it, but I can do it much, much faster. Process-wise, look, I'm a maniac. I want things to be disciplined. I want us to have discipline around how we decide on deals and how we deal with founders and all of that. So the corporate world has helped me there. I probably index a little too much for a small team, but I'm a maniac with it, so I can't let go of it. And then the people side, like I wanted, the Navy SEALs have this amazing thing of, and we use this in the government all the time, it's proficiency and trust. And you can have high trust and low proficiency, and you can still become a Navy SEAL. You can still even get to SEAL Team 6 because they can work with it. But if you have high proficiency and low trust, you're done.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, there's nothing. I just wanted to build a team that was a Navy SEAL-like team that had high trust and high proficiency. Like, I want that trust to be lockstep with values and moral compasses that I have in my brain and that the rest of the crew does. And I also want you to be the best. Like, I have zero tolerance for being anything other than the best. And I just won't congratulate you for it. Like, you can blame my mom or my dad or anybody you want. I don't really care. But like, we do something well. Like, I don't give a shit. You're expected to be the best. You're expected to get the best deals, build the best companies. So yeah, I'm not really going to congratulate you. Actually, the great example is when we did Signal, I did that deal. It was on the board, helped sell it to CrowdStrike. It's the largest Series A acquisition in cyber history, right? We got that thing from 105 post to 740 in 11 months. We did that deal, and some people will peacock and things like that when you do a deal like that. And Sven, who works with me at one point, came to me and he's like, hey, if you want to do, I think it was a 3x net fund, we need 9 more of these. And literally the next meeting, they're like, holy shit, like we just did this huge deal. We're a new fund, largest Series A acquisition ever. Like, and I was like, we need 9 more. Everyone's like, dude, can you let us have them all? I was like, nah, that was yesterday. Like, we need 9 more. So go find 9 more. Right now, I'm looking at our portfolio. I don't have them. So we got to go get them. And we have to outwork everybody else. So that's what I wanted out of it. Now, you asked me on a personal side what I want out of it. I want my daughter and my son to look at that name and always know that everything we do, my son is behind that name and a real purpose is behind that name. It's just a huge driver for me. So if it was like Ward and Associates or Ward, you know what I mean? Like something like that, I'd be like, it's kind of like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything to me. This is important because it sort of fuels me in that I have to build something that has a legacy around it, not to be known by anyone other than my son and my daughter, who will tell their kids and everyone around them, like, he built this is what it is. And the morals and values of that firm stayed true to what the name was originally intended for. And that's not just me, that's the rest of the team, and it translates into our founders. Like, I expect it from them. A level of honesty and integrity and transparency. Like, the team knows it. I get a little hint of like bullshit, I'll go ballistic over it. I hate it. And I will snap at founders for it. Like, I don't want it. I don't want you to tell me that this is your ARR when it's your car. Like, I don't care what your contract says. Like, what is your ARR? Like, don't bullshit me. Like, don't tell me that you're going to close a deal and then you don't. And then you just sort of, it just gets removed from the Excel sheet, right? Or the CRM. Like, it just, you're like, what the hell happened to it? Like, we were supposed to win that deal. I just want that back and forth. And I think it takes a little bit for founders to realize that my intent around this is like, I'm the guy you call when you need a shovel. Whether we're building a house or burying a body, I don't really care. But I'm the guy you call. Like, you want me in the mud with you on this because I'm going to be there with you and help you build this thing. And I think that's sort of becoming like our little thing at BrightMind. It's like, these are operators. These are former founders. Like, they're here to build with you. You want to bullshit somebody and like kind of play that game. Like, okay, go to another VC who buys it. Like, I have no tolerance for it. Like, we're going to go build something great, and the logo on the wall behind me, you have an obligation to mirror what that means to me. And if you don't take my money, because I'm just not the right VC for you. So.
I'm still trying to understand, where does this huge drive come from? Because you grew up on a farm. You grew up in a town like in New Jersey that I've never even heard of until today.
Yeah.
Where does like this drive to make something out of yourself, this whole desire, where does it come from?
I'm going to put this out into the world on this podcast. It is the absolute and constant feeling that I don't belong and I don't deserve. That's it. And I don't even know if it's true anymore. But I don't give a shit. Like, it's just going to a VC party and looking at a bunch of very successful venture capitalists and thinking like, they don't think I belong here. Like, I'm not in their club. Like, that stuff eats me up. Now, here's the messed up part. I don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it because I want to be in the club. I'm doing it because I want you to want me in it. And then I'm going to go walk away and go hang out with my brothers. Right? So it's a weird psychological mind, you know what? It's not good. It's not what I teach my kids, but that's what it is. Like I grew up always looking around and being like, okay, sometimes we had years where you could buy things and sometimes you couldn't. Mm-hmm. And it kind of felt like people looked down on us for not having money and not really being in certain circles and all of that. And that translated to, okay, I'm going to fight my way in. And then once I got here, which I feel like go to JP Morgan out of the government, that was unheard of. Like, it's a really hard transition.
Right.
And then become a CISO of 2 Fortune 100s. You would think I'd be like, I made it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like my brain's just is messed up. Where like, I don't care what it is. Like we could return this fund to 4X. And I guarantee you I will come up with another reason why I feel like I don't belong and why I feel like I'm not good enough. It's not like a healthy thing. Like it's not good for my mental health, but I don't give a shit. I'm doing it anyway. I'll wake up tomorrow, I'll do the same exact thing. It's just how it is. That's where the drive comes from. The moment I feel like I made it, I will retire the next day. Mm-hmm. Because it just won't be good for me. I'll lose that drive. And the moment I feel like I can look around and be like, there's a venture capitalist right now who's working on a deal, who's going to sleep, I'm calling the founder. Like most of my founders on the West Coast, they'll call me. I'll answer at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And like, I just don't, I have to. Because I know someone else won't. And it's like, I look at some of the venture capitalists in cybersecurity that are really successful now. And I'm like, man, I hope they get comfortable. Go buy that yacht. Right? Like, I'll be over here and I'm going to dig a ditch for the founder and I'm going to go build things. And it's just how it works. But again, it's not what I like teach my kids. I want them to be fueled by positive energy and by affirmation of like, I can do this and like not be like me. I don't condone it at all. It's just not healthy, but I'm 53 and it's how I work. It's who I am. And I'm not going to change it now because it's worked out okay.
What did your wife say?
She hates it. Yeah, because it becomes like a self-deprecating thing too. And like, again, she's just a better person than I am. And our house is so diverse, like, because like just the way she is, like being an Irish Catholic married to a Syrian Muslim girl with an autistic son, like it's a complicated house. My kids are just confused, right? Like, for like a year, my daughter thought she was Jewish because all her friends were, and she was going to bar mitzvahs and everything. She's like, when is mine? I was like, you're not Jewish. She's like, I'm not. Right? So my kids are just confused because both of our families just kind of let them figure things out on their own. I don't care what religion it is. I want you to just learn that all they are is just teaching you how to be a good person. Right. So go learn that. And whatever you gravitate towards when you get older, have at it. But I don't care what religion it is. I care that you take the values from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so my wife is just a better person than me. She's more positive. She's helped me pick amazing companies, believe it or not, because she's met Asaf. Like he texts her back immediately. It takes 8 years to text him back. So I'm not sure if I should have a complex over that, but she's met Yevgeny and Nadir at Armis, and Nadir's wife, or Yevgeny's wife, and Spencer at Origin. Like she's met these founders that she's literally walked away and just looked at me and said the most simplistic venture capital comment you can make, which is, I like him. He's got good energy. We're complicating all of these other metrics and looking at Excel sheets and asking all these crazy things where she's just a simple like, ooh, I like his energy. Yeah. And she's been right 100% of the time. So I think I'm going to create a fund that's just her. And just have her meet the founder and give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. But yeah, she doesn't like it. She sees what it does to me from a health standpoint. That I am the way I am. And she just wants me to be happy and happy with myself and confident that what I'm doing is the right thing to do and a good thing. And she wants me to like appreciate what I've built and what I've done. And she grounds me in that way. So she'll pull me back into good places of like, hey man, look around. Like I'm the only one that's finished college, and, you know, with my brothers and my parents. And when I go back home where my brother and my mom still live up there, and like I see, you know, how they live versus how I live, and like what I can now do for them.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me like, oh, what'd you do with the Wiz money? I paid off my brother's mortgage. He works in the city here. He's an underwater welder. So he dives down and works on the tunnels and bridges and the piers and everything. He works his ass off, travels 2 hours one way to come into the city at like 3:30, 4 in the morning. Like the first thing I wanted to do was just rid him of that. Wow. And his simple comment back to me was, I just retired. So paying off his mortgage caused him to retire. It's that sort of stuff. That's what brings me back to center on why you do what you do. Not me personally, because I'll beat the shit out of myself every chance I get. But if I can do things for others and others in the family now, yeah, like that's where I get my drive. It's the same thing with founders. Like I truly want them to get what they deserve. And that's where I get the reward. For me, I don't know, like I'll go buy a new laptop. That's a big day. You know what I mean? Like I got the new MacBook. So I'm pretty simple with all of that. So yeah, not a good way to operate, but it works for me. And I'm afraid if I lose it, I'll probably just have to retire. But 15 years.
Yeah. At least we know there's a timeline.
Yeah.
You've had the opportunity to work and build a relationship with some of the best. You know, a lot of the names you mentioned, you know, you have Spencer from Origin, Evan from Abnormal, Evgeny and Nadir from Armis, who just had their exit of $7.7 billion, Asaf, Wiz, and you know, Signal, and multiple others. You know, the common question obviously would be like, you know, what are the top 3 things you learned from these types of people? You saw the common denominator between them. But why don't you tell me the things maybe that people don't see that made them amazing? And even on the opposite end, you know, what do you see, like, what do you learn from these successful people that build successful companies that you wouldn't advise other people to do or something?
I think the easy answer, you've probably heard this from a million of your guests, but like,
I don't want the easy answer.
Yeah, it's like the obsession thing is like, and I have a different definition of obsession, like almost like maniacal, like a borderline crazy. I'll give you one that like most people probably don't admit. I didn't like a lot of those founders a lot. It's a weird way of thinking about it, but like most of them, like I went at it with them. The relationships that were like so easy in some ways, there were good exits at 250, 300. Like the ones that like really pissed me off and we went at it over stuff, and those were the $1 billion outcomes, right? And that's probably the thing to dissect the most. It's like, well, why did you go at it with them? Well, it was mostly because I had an opinion on something. I wanted you to listen on something and you didn't. A great example is like Torque at one point, you know, everybody was concerned with burn. And I was basically on Ulfr's side of like, hey, burn more. And our burn was high. And it was like, there's a wave coming. And my wife surfs and like, you see those last 3 paddles before you pop up on a wave are the hardest, most frantic. And it's just as you peek over your shoulder and you're like, I gotta go. That's where Torque was years ago. And it was like, burn your way into it. We had a lot of fights over that. But to me, it was those moments of like, everyone kind of in some ways looks at Asaf. I would point most people to Yanan. Like, Yanan is borderline insane. Like, but in such an amazing way where like, I'm sure Yanan irritates half the people in his life in a day. But man, he is so maniacal and so focused and dedicated and obsessive that that's what you want. They all had it. They all still have it. We just saw a founder the other day. I won't reveal who it is because they're early. But he had a look, and I was like, he's going to figure it out. He's going to do something. It's like, why? I was like, he's just got that like look that's like a little scary. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't want that passive shit of like, yeah, I'll raise and let's see how things go. Like, I want you to be a little crazy. And no one likes to really admit that part, but that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Right.
It's hard to define like specifically like what you're asking me, but man, I want a little off, man. You know what I mean? Like, give me a little craziness. And like, we can harness that shit. Dude, we're going to do amazing things. I think Asaf is a genius when it comes to people. He's dangerous because he can get almost any human being to do whatever he wants. Like, Asaf is the only one that won't answer 15 of your texts. But like the other night when he's like, hey, come to New York, let's go to dinner. It was like an ex-girlfriend where I'm like, yes, definitely. I'll meet you there. What time? Tell me whatever I need to be. Right? And it's the same with Yevgeny and Nadir and like the same ones. Evan, I'm sure there's a million more. I think I've heard Sire is very similar. Like, these crews they have a gravitas and a personality that you just want to be around them, and they have a little bit of craziness to them. And I think you just kind of need that to be in this business and be successful. So kind of a weird answer, but I don't want to give you a typical VC answer. I like a little crazy. Reminds me of me.
How has success changed in your mind after achieving success? Like, you are a successful person. How has that changed?
Well, look, I don't think I am. I just don't. I have a real difficult time with that word. I have a really difficult time defining that word.
Right.
You just caught me at a weird time where, like, again, last night having dinner with Asaf, like, we sat down and I was like, all right, you wake up the next morning and you got the wire. Like, how'd you feel? And he sort of humped his shoulders. And I leaned in. I was like, I didn't feel any different. And he's like, yeah, me either. I was like, and Marav was there. And Marav was like, well, you've already had an exit. And he's like, yeah, but not like this. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I just woke up the next day. I went and did some mobility stretching and I worked out and I showered and I got online. So if you people want to measure it on like, okay, you have life-changing money and you don't have to work anymore and like your family's set and everything. Okay, like, I guess that's a way to define it. If you want to look at it as like you've been an executive and okay. I just think, man, like how my life has just changed from career to career. And just with where I am, like, success for me is something that comes later. And like navigating life and being like, I'm done, I'm going to retire. And I'm sitting on a beach someplace with a Corona and a lime, right? Listening to Drake. Yeah, I'll text you. I found it. Do you know what I mean? But that's it for me. Like, while I'm in it, it just doesn't exist. And I don't really want it to. I just want it to be something like, I want to earn the right to chill out. And I want to earn that right to chill out by saying that the rest of my family, extended family, everybody is taken care of.
Right.
And like my nieces and nephews have their colleges paid for and like all these different things. Like, that's it for me. And you've got 6 people around you that are going to be with you when you're in hospice. Like, nobody wants to talk about that shit. Like, I want 6 of my closest friends, my family members, and people I've worked with to be there with me. That's it. You do that, that's fucking success. Because I've been around parents who have gone through that and nobody's around. right? It's two people. And that, to me, I don't want to live life like that in the moment. That when it's time for me, like I want good people around me, and I want it to be a good mix of family, friends, and colleagues. Usually it's just one or two family members. If that's how you define it, I'm all in, I'll let you know, right? But in order to get that, you got to live a good life and treat people properly and be fair and do all those things right so that it all leads up to that moment. And I think that's the part that we typically forget. Yeah. We want it to happen then without working for it, you know, over time. So, I'll let you know. I'll send you a text. Feel like I must have screwed up somewhere. It's just my wife. Right? But hopefully you're there and everyone else is. That, to me, that's how I want it to be defined.
You know, it's really interesting to see what your path has been until now. You know, from New Jersey, your farm, to ending up at the Coast Guard, Secret Service protection, physical protection, Secret Service IT cyber protection, to JP Morgan, to another place, eventually to Home Depot to Insight to BrightMind. I'm like so curious what's going to happen next. Like so many plot twists.
Yeah, I've talked about it with Sven a few times on like, anytime I see a founder who's got a really good idea, but I know they're not going to be able to execute, I'm always like, oh, we should go do that shit. You know what I mean? So there's a part of me that's like, I sometimes have that founder itch. Now someone will say like, oh, you did that with BrightMind. I don't agree. Starting a venture firm is not founding a real cybersecurity firm. I think that's a dig in some ways to real founders. That might be the only thing, but it's the first time in my career where I felt comfortable that this is it for me. Mm-hmm. Like any other place, I've gotten a little antsy, and I feel like I figured everything out and there was not much more to learn. Like one of the last protection assignments I had in the Secret Service was with a president of another country, and he was in Miami. And I was at the Four Seasons in Brickell, and I had the midnight shift. It was 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And he liked to have visitors at night. But eventually, like, it got boring, like, 3 a.m. So I would pace up and down the hallway, and I would close my eyes and put my finger over the braille on the placards outside the hotel doors. Room 1106, 1107, whatever. And you're there for like 5 or 6 days. And I got home, my wife was like, how was it? I was like, good. I learned braille. 0 through 9. And she's like, well, I was like, yeah, I think I might have to start looking for another job. Like, I'm kind of running out of things to learn. I don't have that feeling with this. I don't think I'm ever going to, because like, this is it for me. Right. Like, I don't want my name to be remembered. I want BrightMind to be remembered, and I want it to carry on long after I'm gone. And you look at Greylock and Sequoia and these amazing firms that are like, can I build that? And can I turn it over to someone else and have someone else build it? You could argue Sequoia, it's tough, right? Doug's back, right? It's like the mafia. Like every time I try to leave, they pull me back in, right? So this is it for me. My next move will be on the beach. And look, the sooner the better, right? The sooner I get that feeling like I did it, right, and this is good, and I'm good enough, right? Like I'm craving that. Like when will I feel like I'm good enough? Is the moment I'll step down and turn over the reins to somebody else and see what they can do with it. So yeah, hopefully I will not be back here in 5 years talking to you about being the CEO of some cyber company. Like, oh my God, he jumped again. I think this is it for me.
Yeah. Was it hard raising the fund, because you're technically an emerging manager?
I thought it was hard. When I updated other venture capitalists, Jeff at Insight was one of the people that I updated, and we were eating dinner, and he just looked at me and he goes, yeah, it wasn't hard. And I go, it seemed pretty hard. You're selling yourself for money. like it's really hard for me to speak highly of myself publicly. I'm not that guy. and you're selling yourself. They're investing in you, and they're giving you $250 million. And he talked about the time it took to do it and how few LPs we have. And he just looked at me and he's like, I've raised 13 funds. Like, that was not hard. You don't know what hard is. And that has resonated with me. Like, it meant a lot. So I thought it was hard. Compare an apple to an orange or an apple to an apple. It's up to you. Right? I didn't like it at all. Like, there are times where I'm like, I don't want to get on this flight. But, you look at 90% of that 250 comes from 10 entities. So, and they're the best. So now we have to earn it, right? Yeah. Now you got to keep them. So the stress of like doing good deals and making them money, in some ways, that's the one feeling I have that makes me feel like I'm a CISO. Is that stress on my shoulders of like, if I don't give them a 3x net fund, I'm a piece of shit. Like, that's literally how my brain works. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it was hard to raise it. It's even harder to earn it for fund 2. Do good deals, build good companies. That's about it for me. But yeah, I'm dreading it. I'm dreading doing it again, I guess is my point.
If you had the opportunity to go back to younger self and tell it a message, what would you say?
If I had the chance to find that kid, I would, and I had like 10 seconds, I'd be like, you're going to get out. You're going to do really well. Like, enjoy. Like, stop rushing. Like, okay, you're in debt. You'll get out of it. But like, just be patient and enjoy life a little bit. That's the main message. Not like work harder, study more, like none of that. Like, no, I already had that drive. And I liked that I had challenges with things and I had to work harder. I think that's what makes, someone unique. But man, I wish I chilled out a little bit sometimes. And like, I rushed through college because I had debt and I wanted to get out. Okay, like maybe enjoy and don't take 21 credits and do an extra, that last semester. No one hands me a new set of steak knives because I graduated early. Who gives a shit? It's the same degree on the wall. I don't even know where my degree is, actually. It's not on the wall. That's what I would push. But just chill out. You're going to be fine. You're going to get out. You're going to be able to take care of everybody else. Be patient with yourself and, maybe give yourself a little bit of credit. But, yeah, it's too late for that. I'm already torturing myself on a daily basis. So far, so good.
Steve, thank you. I honestly want to say this was a very heartfelt conversation for myself. And there's a lot that I learned from hearing you share your story and being totally honest and vulnerable. So thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
It's good. It was like a free therapy session.
Thank you so much for listening to my conversation with Steve. I hope you learned something that you're able to apply to your personal, professional life today. Because the purpose of these conversations are that we are able to bring you inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, that you are able to change 1% of your life, whatever that is professionally, personally, that you are able to become a better person. Now, before you go, please do me a personal favor. Please subscribe on whichever platform you're listening or watching this podcast. Now, I hope to see you back very soon with a brand new episode.